Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. I want to thank everybody who's in the chat room and everybody who is out on the internet listening on your little iPods, iPads, whatever your new devices are that you listen to all this awesome stuff on. Got an awesome interview for all you metalheads out there because we still got to keep music alive no matter what we do. I have Sean Yseult from White Zombie, Famous Monsters, Rock City Morgue, and The Cramps. Sean, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. I hope I said your last name right.
You did. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
So, what new stuff do you have going on right now?
It's funny. You just listed so many bands that I've played with, and I actually have a new band, and surprise, surprise, it's called Star and Dagger, and it's 3 girls and two guys, and it's kind of heavy, like I'd say like kind of 70s blues metal rock kind of music. Pretty heavy stuff. Definitely Sabbath influenced, and it's my friend Donna. She was actually in the Cycle Sluts from Hell. I don't know if you remember them. They were Beavis and Butthead alumni along with White Zombie. Old friend of mine. And then we have a great singer that is new to the world, Von Hessling. Mm-hmm. And we've also got a couple of guys from Queens of the Stone Age and Eagles of Death Metal in the band. Dave Catching and Gene Troutman playing guitar and drums. So it's a really great lineup. We have a lot of fun playing, and I think we're right now we've done some good tours, and we're getting ready to go to Europe in April.
Sounds like you guys got an all-star group here formed.
It's kind of fun, yeah. No, we're all like old friends, so it's been great. It's kind of been, it makes it easy to get gigs,
Oh yeah.
We played with some great bands. We toured with Down already. We played with High on Fire. Played with St. Vitus. All the shows have been going great, so I'm real excited about it. It's the first band I've done since White Zombie that's heavy and kind of borders into metal and at least
right up your alley, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So did you say you guys have played with Down?
Yeah, we did. We actually did a little tour with them in the South. It went great. I'm still great friends with Phil Anselmo and Pepper, all those guys. Yeah. Jimmy is like so great. I love all those guys. It's been fun.
You mentioned Sabbath influenced on this with Star and Dagger and everything, but what do you think about the new Sabbath album that's getting ready to come out here? I mean, I can't believe that they're actually going to put out another album without Bill Ward on this.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, I haven't heard it, so fingers crossed it's good. But it does seem a little sad without Bill Ward.
That's for sure. Now, let's talk about your influences growing up and stuff, and what led you down to this path of wanting to play this style of music.
Well, it's funny. The first time I picked up a bass, I was in high school, and I just started playing these riffs, by ear. I didn't know what I was playing, and my sister looked at me in horror, and I was like, what am I playing? She's like, oh, you're playing Black Sabbath. I was playing, like, various Sabbath songs, and I didn't even know I liked Black Sabbath. So I quickly went out and got some records and realized what I was playing by ear was in fact Black Sabbath, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
I like a lot of other stuff, obviously. I mean, I'm into so many different kinds of music, but as far as like really heavy music, I always loved I Hate God. I always loved Early on MC5 and Blue Cheer, Stooges. I know that's not exactly metal, but I like pretty raw and heavy stuff. I love Motorhead. Other influences are the Cramps, the Ramones. I have a lot of punk influences. That's kind of when I was growing up and going to shows. When I got to New York in the 80s, it was a lot of great punk shows and hardcore bands and stuff.
Definitely.
That was kind of cool.
I think all of us have a little punk ties to us all. I've loved.
Right?
I mean, when I was growing up, I loved Guns N' Roses, and then when Metallica come on the scene, I was like, Guns N' Roses, who?
Yeah. I gotta tell you, when that Guns N' Roses record came out, I loved that. I thought it was great. It had balls and it was in your face, and but along that same time, we were listening to Metallica and Slayer, and definitely Slayer's a huge influence.
Oh yeah.
For me, riff wise, and Metallica, they're great. I mean, Master of Puppets is probably my favorite one.
Definitely. So you met Rob at Parsons, correct?
Right.
When you guys first formed your band and everything, how was it? Did you guys get a lot of support, from local people there? How was the music scene when you guys first started?
Oh, well, the funny thing with New York, and it's still kind of like that, is that, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say, but at least in the East Village back then, it was very unsupportive. Like, people, it was very competitive, no one wanted anybody else to do well or get ahead or anything. So we were kind of this strange band that didn't fit in anywhere.
Oh, wow.
We were kind of noisy, so there was this whole like art noise scene going on in the East Village. So it let us play, but we were kind of too heavy for them. And then there was the hardcore scene, and we weren't hardcore, and it was just really bizarre. There was also this kind of straight ahead rock scene going on in the East Village that was Circus of Power, Raging Slab, Cycle Sluts from Hell, and we kind of played with all these different bands, and then eventually we got asked to play at L'Amour's in Brooklyn, which was the big metal club, and we played there with Cro-Mags and Biohazard a number of times, and eventually with Pantera, and that was the place that we felt the most at home. Like, the fans seemed to get us, and we enjoyed it, and it's always nice to have a receptive audience. When we were in Manhattan, in the East Village, people would just kind of watch us and have their arms crossed and scratch their head, know. And but when we play in the metal club in Brooklyn, we had a mosh pit going, and it was just fun and exciting, So I was like, well, we finally found our spot. This is where we belong.
The first time you guys stepped on stage and you actually heard people singing your music, describe that to me. What was your feeling? Wow,
well, it's crazy. I mean, you can't totally hear them because it's so loud on stage, but you can see people mouthing along with the words and headbanging, and so exciting. It's just amazing. I mean, God, I don't even know what the lyrics are. Bob's got some pretty intricate lyrics there. I know the choruses at least. But, it's just crazy. It's a great feeling. It's hard to put into words, but it is really nice to
It's funny
see
that
the audience reciprocating,
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. I interviewed a band a couple weeks ago who said that, the first time we stepped on stage, he's like, I still don't know the lyrics of any of our songs.
Well, let's just hope the singer does. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But, it's funny. Rob would not write his lyrics or sing until we went into the studio to record. So we'd practice for months as a three-piece, guitar, bass, drums. That was how we wrote our songs. And, he would just kind of listen and keep to himself. And then we get in the studio, and he'd finally sing something. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. But, every band's got their own methods.
So with this new band, Star and Dagger, are you guys getting ready to go on some tours or this summer or anything? Or are you guys working on a new CD?
Well, we have we have a completely done record, and it should be released mid-April is the plan. We've got a record label, but I don't want to say it because we're still actually working on the contract. Right. But everything looks really good. I just don't want to jinx it. And they're sending us over in April to Europe. That's getting set up now. And if that goes well, we're hoping to get back to Europe for the summer and then hit U.S. afterwards. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think we're going to be doing a bit of touring.
Now, what's different with this band that you like most about it than the other bands that you've been in?
God, it's really different. First of all, the singer Vaughn and Donna, the guitarist, and I all work together. Sometimes I'll write the whole song and the lyrics. Sometimes Donna and I will collaborate. Sometimes Vaughn will come up with lyrics and vocal line. It's very collaborative between the three of us. And we're like, before we started the band, we were just always traveling together and going on vacations together and like having a great time together. So we're kind of like, God, if we're doing this, why not play some shows? Yeah. go to great places, travel to south of France and play a gig, So that was kind of, it actually started, Donna and I were out drinking in the East Village, and we ran into Lenny Kaye, Patti Smith's guitarist, and he's good friends with both of us individually, but he saw us together for the first time, and he was like, "Oh my God, you two have to start a band. I see it." So we were like, "Okay." And that's really why we started. We were just like, "Well, Lenny Kaye's like God. We got to do whatever Lenny Kaye says." And so we started the band just kind of for fun, and then we got Vaughn in and wrote all these songs, and now that we've been playing live, we got Dave Catching and Gene Troutman playing with us, and they're just like, make it such a powerhouse. It's great.
Yeah, but isn't it awesome, though, that some guy that you look up to that's awesome in your eyes, say something to you guys like that, give you the motivation to do something?
Yeah, no, it was really cool. It's funny, yeah, we haven't gotten to, I can't wait to actually get the record in our hands and send it to him and be like, look what you have created. Probably not what he had in mind, but we'll see.
Yeah, but you're doing stuff that you guys want to do, and you don't have no one there to tell you not to do it. So
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, it's great right now because you can just create your own label if you want to too. I mean, with everything online, and iTunes and whatever. I mean, you really don't even need a label, but it's nice to have one. So we're going the label route, but we're also like, hey, if it's not exactly what we want, we'll do it ourselves. So, who cares?
Exactly.
As long as we can have fun and do what we want.
It's like we're old enough. We're over 21, so
Exactly.
So what can fans expect at a Star and Dagger show, different than the other ones?
Well, the most amazing thing, I think, everybody's got really great stage presence, but our singer Vaughn is really out there. I mean, she's got more charisma than I've seen. That's kind of the thing that's always lacking these days for me. I go see bands, but you rarely see a front person that just freaks you out.
Yeah.
It's like an Iggy Pop or a Lux or just somebody that has so much charisma and is going nuts. And Vaughn not only, has all that, but she's got this insane voice. I mean, the first person that commented said she sounded like Bessie Smith, It's like she's kind of got this Tina Turner, just like really soulful, balls out, bluesy, great voice and range. And, there's not a lot of female singers I like, but I love her voice. And she's in between songs. She'll say anything that comes. There's no filter, So she'll just say something really nasty or funny or just whatever's on her mind, and the audiences love her. It's pretty entertaining. I mean, she looks like Sherry Curry, and she sounds like Tina Turner. It's insane. It's pretty awesome.
Well, that's another question I was going to ask you. Is like when you came up, you was a female bass player with White Zombie. Plus these other bands. When you came up with White Zombie, did you have a lot of support because you were female?
Not really. I gotta be honest. I think people thought I was a guy. Well, I know a lot of people did. Kind of. I was just scrawny enough, and we all dressed the same, and we all had long hair, and I really think people thought I was a guy. I felt like I was kind of sneaking by. I didn't dress or act like a girl, and I kind of, I don't know, it was kind of a weird time, like you're saying. I definitely didn't want people to single me out as a girl. I wanted to be respected as a musician, and
Right.
Whether you're a girl or a guy, it shouldn't matter.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was a weird time. But then on the other hand, in the East Village, when we first started out, the bands we played with, the kind of weird East Village like art noise bands were almost all of them had a girl bass player. It's weird looking back on it, but like Sonic Youth, Rat Radar, The Swans, Honeymoon Killers, Pussy Galore. Those are all bands that we played with, and they all had a girl bass player or a girl in the band. So and also one of the bands I worshipped was the Cramps, and of course you got Ivy in that band. So it didn't seem totally strange to me, but once we kind of switched over to L'Amour's and playing the metal clubs, I definitely, was pretty much the only girl around. It was pretty strange. Even the audience, was mostly guys. So it was, it was fine though. Like I said, I don't think I really appeared to be, kind of pretty androgynous at the time. So I don't think people thought about it too much.
But I saw an interview that you did, and it was on YouTube, and I thought it was really funny. that they did this to you, and I was like, how could they do this? I mean, how did they not know she is in White Zombie? I mean, haven't you seen the videos? His interview that you did with Ricky Rackman, and this is where you guys were on tour, and I can't think of who it was that you guys were on tour with, but you guys were backstage, and he was talking to you, and you said you just get ready to come out on stage, and they wouldn't let you on stage because they thought, they thought you wasn't in the band, and they're calling your name, and you're like, I gotta go.
No, that happened. That happened right here in New Orleans, actually. Lakefront Arena, big show. There was an old security guy there on a forklift, and he halted me as I was approaching the stage and made me turn around. We have a lot of pyro backstage. There's a lot of kind of bomb type things going off and making noises and stuff before we would get on stage. So they kind of have extra security for our backstage, but still, they're like, where's your laminate? I'm like, I don't wear my laminate on stage. Sorry.
Yeah.
So somebody would have to come find me. It was crazy, and that would happen in smaller places too. But it was kind of funny when it was happening in 10,000 seaters.
It's like, do the math. If you're gonna have a band, see who's in the band and see who they are. That's just all I'm saying. With this Star and Dagger, you guys are going to play a few shows, but are you hoping that it becomes something of a bigger type deal, or are you guys just going to do this for a while, or what do you guys have planned for it?
We really enjoy doing this, so we're going to keep doing it and make more records. I would love for it to do well and get big, but the climate these days, I don't know if there's really a audience for heavy music that's that large anymore. But we're just open to see what happens. We're gonna try to get on some festivals and I don't know. We just played the Voodoo Fest here in New Orleans in October. That was great, and we'll just see. We'll just take it as it comes.
I'll definitely play it on here.
See what happens. Cool, thanks.
Yeah, I support locals. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, to me, there's a lot of more great local bands that are not getting recognized than national. Like you said, there's a lot of national bands are just the same. It's the same stuff over and over and over. Where's the critiqueness at? Where are you going to bring something different to the table? I don't know.
I've just noticed, as far as bands coming through New Orleans, of all the new bands, it's pretty soft rock. You know what I mean? It's almost like folk music. There's not really much heavy stuff going on. So of course, there's still a scene. There's still Down and some bands out there that there is a scene for heavy music. But as far as what's really popular right now, it's kind of mind blowing. I'm like, man, the music just has no balls at all. I just can't imagine wanting to hear that. I don't know.
It's like they have, I don't know, it's like they don't have the oomph to it. It's like, oh, we can't say that anymore. It's like, who cares? Sing the frickin' song.
Let's see, if Vaughn was here, she would say something really dirty. You'll see her say something dirty on stage, and you'll see me embarrassed. She said something so, I can't even repeat it. See, she said something so awful last time she saw some band that just sounded like a bunch of pussies. The rudest thing, and I can't even repeat it. So there you go. You just have to come see us live and hear Vaughn spell off. Pretty funny.
If I had her on the show, we'd have to hit the explicit button every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So this book that you have out called "I'm in the Band," which I'm going to get here shortly. Man, you've got a lot of great stuff in this book. It's when you was on tour with White Zombie, things like that. You've got to play with Pantera and especially Dime. Oh my God! Talk about that for a little bit with us here.
The book or a dime bag or
well, we're gonna cover we're gonna cover both.
Yeah, well, the book spans pretty much day one of White Zombie when Rob and I met and until we broke up, and I just had saved so many things from tour, backstage passes and flyers from the early days, and also I was the only person with a camera the whole time because I was in school for photography and design, so I was taking photos the whole time, whether it was a crappy Instamatic or, a better camera later. But I just saved every single thing, and I have great photos. I'm a fan too, so like all the bands we toured with, you know, Pantera, the Ramones, Reverend Horton Heat, you know, Caius. I have photos like of all of them backstage, on stage, you know, hanging out with them and stories. So I started off actually making this for myself because Katrina had hit down here, you know, and a lot of people lost everything they owned, and thank God I didn't. But I thought, well, what if another one hits and I do lose my house and I lose everything in it, you know? So I thought, well, at least let me get all this stuff in one place. I'll make myself like a little scrapbook. And I started making it and showing it to people, and they're like, you know, you really got to get this to fans. Like, this would be a great book. And I started talking to some publishers and agents, and you know, I pretty quickly had a book deal. So that was it was fun. I got to design it. I got to write whatever I wanted to write. Nobody, you know, told me what to do or how to design it or anything. And you know, it was just a fun project for me, you know. But there's a lot of there's of course tons of White Zombie, and of course it's all from my perspective. It's not like the, you know, biography of White Zombie or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, right. I mean, it's all, you know, my stories, but you know, it covers us pretty well, and it covers a lot of other bands too, because we toured with so many bands.
That's amazing. I mean, I've read some things, you know, just what I could find about it online, and for someone to keep all that, I mean, that's pretty amazing, because they usually say, well, I gave it to a fan or whatever, you know. Oh,
thank you. No, it was I don't know, it just seemed important at the time, you know. I've even got our old, you know, I saved all of our old records, everything, you know. We would just kind of stash things away. So, but yeah, with Pantera, we toured with Pantera so many times, and Phil and Dale both always treated me like a little sister. You know, they were just so great to me and took me under their wing, and they'd call me Junior. You know, I was like a mascot for them or something. Make me come on stage and try to sing along with them and stuff. It was you know, prank me all the time. It was just a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah. It sucks that Dom's not with us anymore, and I could just imagine what he would be playing and what he's come up with, you know, today, if he was still here.
God, I know, he's such a genius. He's just always... Apparently he got banned from some, like, contest in Texas. He kept winning over and over, like, you know, when he was, like, 15, 16 years old, and they finally banned him from entering. He was already so good, you know?
What advice, if you can remember, that he gave you that really stuck with you on your career as a musician, that really made you think, wow, you know, I'm respected?
Wait, what advice from Dimebag?
Yeah, what did he say anything to you cool?
I don't know if he ever gave me any advice, except for, drink this. You'll feel better. Yeah, no, we just... I don't know. No, I don't. I really don't think he ever was one to give advice. You know, he's just like he's just a very good soul and very entertaining and loving person. He's the best.
Like I said, I really wish he was here. It just sucks what happened to him, but we have to protect. Yeah. I mean, you guys have to protect yourselves on stage. I mean, regardless. I mean, it's got to.
I mean, that's just crazy. What a freak, you know, thing to happen. That's, you know. I don't think that's ever happened before or after, really. Mm-hmm. But you know, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. It's so terrible.
Oh, but,
yeah, it's a huge loss.
Going back to your book here, did you ever think of writing this before? Did you ever think, you know, well, maybe one day, and then, I mean, I know you said Katrina.
No, definitely not. It's funny because my father was a writer and published many books, but I never ever thought about writing, and like I said, I started this book off as a kind of like a photo album, like scrapbook for myself. So I wasn't really doing any writing, but then I'd write like some little bits here and there and the person I went with that wanted, you know, got us the publishing deal. My agent, she was like, "Oh, your writing's really good. I think you should write more." You know, she kept encouraging me to write more. So, like I said, there wasn't a lot of writing at first, and she kind of got me to write more and more, and I'm very comfortable writing. You know, I just write like I speak pretty much, but you know, it wasn't difficult, but you know, it was time consuming after a while, but it was fun. You know, I like doing it.
Now you've got
But no, I never thought of doing it before though.
Cool how things work out like that, because it seems like the things that you wasn't thinking about doing end up being very successful.
Sometimes.
Well, most of the people I've seen have, but that's just me. Now, you've got your own photography here, too, that you've had your photography displayed in galleries across the country. How's that make you feel? I mean, because I know that's what you were going to school for, but...
Well, it's pretty rewarding to get back to it. I kind of, not that White Zombie didn't do well. I mean, that turned out great, but I always felt guilty that I, spent all these years in school for something that I never like got into. I just felt like I invested a lot of time and energy into that, and I didn't feel like I had to go back to it, but I wanted to. It just seemed natural, and I moved to this town, New Orleans. It's so beautiful, and I just love all the decaying architecture and the graveyards that are falling apart, and it's just an amazing town. So it was pretty inspiring to start back with photography, and that part was easy as far as having plenty of things and people to photograph. And the most rewarding thing is I finally had my first solo show last year, and I sold almost every piece. So that was great, because I've actually never really sold that much before, but I usually just have one or two pieces in a group show, Mm-hmm. But that was great. And I'm actually getting a new show together right now. It's gonna open up on March 23rd here in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thanks so much.
Hey, Sean, what would you like to say to your fans who are listening to this interview right now?
Thanks for being there for us all these years, and check out my new band. I hope you like it. It's good heavy stuff.
Now, how can people get a hold of you if they just want to say, "Hey, Sean, we've loved your music from all these years. We want to support you." How can they reach out to you?
I've got a website. It's just SeanYseult.com, and there's a little button you can click on for contact. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come straight to me, but if somebody writes a letter, they usually get passed on to me, and I can get back to you.
Awesome. Sean, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Like I said, I've been a fan of yours ever since White Zombie and Beavis and Butthead, said White Zombie, and there you are. So,
God bless them.
Yeah,
well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem at all. The biggest songs for me that really caught my eye with White Zombie and you guys playing it was Black Sunshine. I know a lot of people say, well, Thunder Kiss was it. And I was like, to me, it was Black Sunshine.
Well, thanks. That means a lot to me, because that's my riffs.
Yeah.
The other one, Thunder Kiss, is pretty much mostly Jay. I wrote a little bit, but those are, the main riffs are Jay's. But Black Sunshine those are my riffs.
Yeah, the bass riff in that is really good. I really like the bass in that. It's a great song.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Another thing before I let you go, would you mind to do a promo for the show?
Oh, not at all. I always get a little tongue-tied during these, so tell me what I should say, and I'll try to say it correctly.
Just say, this is Sean Yseult, and, if you want to say from White Zombie, whoever you want to say.
Hey, this is Sean Yseult from White Zombie. You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Yep, there you go.
I got it?
You got it.
Awesome. Usually don't get it on the first try.
But
cool. Thank you so much for having me. And don't forget to write, with your address, and I'll send you a photo.
I want to thank Sean Yseult from White Zombie for being on the show this evening. Stick around, guys, because we're going to play some White Zombie and some other good things. Thanks for listening, guys.